Welcome to Let's Talk About You. I am your host, Camela Francis, and it's so nice that you can join me this Sunday. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we're live and we have a great show. Season 6 has just been on point, on target, and we're going to be talking about supporting your kids' dreams. They are the future, so why not? And, I have two repeat guests. One that was on my show, I think in my first season, and another young lady who started out season 6 with us. So we have Tyson-Sewell, and Rhea Maddison-James. These two young ladies are repeat guests, so I guess they're my expert guests, and they're joining us to the topic and the discussion about supporting your kids' dreams. When Catherine was on our show, when we first started season 6, she informed our listening audience that she's not just a mom, she's not just a lover of life and a lover of love. She has authored a book. She supports her adult kids, and she is definitely the key person for the show today because in this day and age in 2025, things have changed so much. And she has two dimensions. She has kids that are grown, and now she has a baby that's 3 years old. So she can compare what it was like raising kids then versus now, in addition to, how she has molded and empowered and supported her adult kids, what she's doing to support her current toddler. Listen, let's just start. Let us just get our guests in the room. And then we're going to be talking afterwards to Rhea, our 14-year-old author. I mean, hey, welcome back, beautiful. Welcome to Let's Talk About You. It's always great to have you with us, Catherine.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
It's great to
thank you,
be here.
thank you.
Yes, thanks for asking
Absolutely.
me back.
Absolutely. I mean, your platform, what you stand for, definitely supports me and what I stand for and what it is that I want to bring forth to Let's Talk About You. And when we talk about pursuing your dreams, it's never an easy thing because being a talk show host is something that I always wanted to do, and I'm doing it now. And it takes a team and a village, just like it takes a team and a village to rear a child and grow, but Catherine, tell us about you being a mom, starting over that journey and your aspirations. Educate us, empower us, talk to us.
Okay. Okay, so I've written two books, by the way, just a correction, because it's important. It's important to mention that my first book was published in 2009. I had teenagers at the time, and the name of that book is "I'm Somebody's Mama." So it actually is right in line with what we're talking about because what happened is I started my single parent journey as a 26-year-old mother of three, and they were 6 months, 4 and 5. And so after 3 years, 3.5 years of me just knowing that Prince Charming was going to save me, after he had not saved me, I realized that, okay, I'm going to have to, think about this dream differently. And so during that time, I had, finished university. I got a bachelor's degree in social work, an undergraduate in psychology, and also a bachelor's in social work. So I was, in the process of ensuring that my children could live the best life that they could live, the best chance that they could have, but through me. Because obviously, if I'm a single mother, I'm vulnerable, and I'm making them vulnerable if I have not, kind of padded my situation in my life. So education was a very large part of it. So after Prince Charming hadn't saved me in 3.5 years, I started to think differently, and I started to just like almost like in one way kind of given up a little bit on that dream that he's going to ride in on a white horse. And what I say in that book is that I realized during the time that I was waiting for him to save me that I was actually saving myself. Well, God and me were saving myself. And so the reason why the book is called "I'm Somebody's Mama" is because it was just my journaling, everyday journaling. So I had journaled for years and years, and then I started to put it together, and I realized as a social worker working with vulnerable women, that there's so many women out there that are kind of doing things that were just crazy, and they could have made some different choices, and my life was looking different than theirs because of the choices that I was making, and my children's life was looking different than some of the, my clients' children's lives because of the decisions that I was making. And so I realized that some of the reason why I had to do some of the things that I did or not do some of the things that I didn't do was because I was somebody's mother. So it's a big deal, a
It
huge
is a
deal.
big deal. And I want to piggyback on what you said about being vulnerable, because that's a real heavy word to use, being a single mother. Because I know when, being a single mother myself, I felt like a stigma, but I had to renew my mind about that and stuff, because it's not a
Absolutely.
bad thing. So many
Yeah,
reasons why you could be a single mother, and it doesn't mean
right,
that you're a bad person. But with
right,
society, they have allowed you. Well, I allowed that at that point, but it was really short lived about
right,
the term about being a single mother. And when you said vulnerable, I felt vulnerable then when I was like, oh, I'm a single mother. I have to do this by myself. Not that I was
right,
waiting for someone to save me, because I already made up my mind I was doing it myself. But what do
right.
you mean when you said the word vulnerable? You were vulnerable, your kids were vulnerable.
Well, I mean, I faced a world 26 years old. I'm facing the world with three children, 6 months. She was probably just being weaned. 4-year-old and a 5-year-old. That's a big deal. I mean, these days, I don't know which 26-year-old could deal with that. I mean, I have three children, three adult children. And they are in their 30s, and they gave me one little grandchild a couple of years ago, so they didn't even do what I was doing. So I'm saying I can't even imagine what they would have done at 26 years old with three kids facing the world. So that did make me vulnerable because I was, in this world that was not waiting for you to catch up. It was not paving the way for you. It wasn't feeling sorry for you. It wasn't helping you out. There were times when I went to church once, and the sermon was about widows, like take care of the widows. And I love the sermon. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. They're going to embrace us, take care of us. So I said to the pastor at the end, and shook his hand and said, I love that sermon. But I'm divorced. I'm not a widow. Does it apply? But he says it doesn't apply to you. He says it doesn't apply to you. And I said the Bible is very clear. And I mean, that was like a punch in my gut, right?
No,
That
he interpreted that so wrong.
Right, exactly. So that's why when I say vulnerable, it was because of things like that. So, here I was needing to ensure that I was okay and my children were okay, regardless of what the world, wanted from me, or what the plans they had. I had two black boys, honey. I'm not quiet about that. I talk about it all the time. I had two black boys in this world, and I do not think that world that was being paid for them was ready for these amazing men that I raised. But I knew what I wanted. So I wanted two educated black men. I wanted two fine young men. I wanted two amazing husbands and amazing partners. I wanted great work ethic. What I wanted was not necessarily what the world would have said that black men were, or that they were ready to ensure that they became. But because of me, I said, absolutely not. This is what's going to happen. So when I talk about vulnerable, I think about stuff like that I didn't sit into that vulnerability, right? I rose above it, but I did recognize that, yeah, in fact, I was vulnerable. I mean, I was about 110 pounds. And when I closed that door at night, it was me. So when I would hear some type of, a little noise outside when I was renting at first, or even when I bought a home, I would be like, oh my gosh, suppose somebody comes in. What am I going to do? How am I going to save these kids? Right? That's vulnerable. That is vulnerable. I have a husband now. I know my husband is going to take care of stuff. I know if he hears, anything outside, he's going to be the person to deal with it. It's not just me anymore. So that's what I mean when I say vulnerable.
Understood. So, but I'm glad that you definitely crafted your life so that you hit the ground running, because it was made that way that, we can't sit woes me. We definitely have to hit the ground running. And I'm so glad that you were able to do just that. And, now you have a baby girl, and now you're doing the different stage in your life as you approach parenting in this session, especially now in the year of 2025. How is
Right.
that?
Right. It's very different. I'll tell you, I don't remember half of it. Like honestly, she's not 3 yet. She's a couple of months from 3, and I literally remember nothing that the other 3 did. I'm like, they didn't do that. Come on, they did not. Look me in the face and turn water over while they're on the floor. Like, but like I've forgotten, and that's the beauty of it. But what I find is that she's so smart. She's so intuitive. She's so like beyond her years. And I realized that I have to really pay attention 100% because maybe there were things that I've forgotten because I was so busy. And now that I do have, a husband and we're raising this baby together, it's a very different situation. So it's not just me on my own. But a lot of times I feel like, what am I going to do? I don't trust the world with her. I don't trust her the way that I was trusting before, the things that have happened in the last 20, 30 years that you would never imagine you'd ever think would have happened. So now I'm like, what am I going to do with her when it's time for her to go to school? Am I going to homeschool her? Am I going to create a village? Or, like it's a lot of thought that we're putting in it. But the good part is I'm not doing it alone this time.
And that's a wonderful thing that you have a second chance. You have a second chance to do it exactly the way that you wanted to do it with your mate, with your knight in shining armor. He's there to help you. And then now you said that you're author of 2 books. And, I want to go into a part of the book. Your title of your second, well, I guess it's your second book. That's the book
Right.
that I know about. And I truly love the title of that book because it's not only sassy, it's like, yeah, and what? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's Single Mama Powerful, Not Pitiful. And
Yes.
it's kind of talking about what you had just mentioned, the times when I felt pitiful and the times when I felt like poor me. And then I'm like, no, there's no poor me in this. You got 3 people that are looking at you. They're depending on you to get it right, to kick butt for them, to show up every day, to do the best that you can and ensure that they learn that that's how you approach life. And no one's there just handing you good stuff. Like, you got to create that good stuff for yourself. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to speak to that community, that, honey, you are not pitiful, you are powerful, because you have
Yes.
future adults in the palm of your hands, and what we put in is what we're going to get out. So what type of future adults do you want in this world? Well, those are the kind of things you have to be mindful of as you raise your children, because, like it or not, that's what you're doing. You're building them. You're building people for the next generation, and it's in your hands. So that's pretty darn powerful.
I
Period.
love that you said that because a lot of times we know that we're going through the motion of rearing our kids, but we have to truly realize that what we have been entrusted is such a powerful task and challenging in raising the future. You want to rear good men and good women because they're the next. They're the future. They'll be taking care not only of us, but their community, what's going on, and
Exactly.
it is just so great. But I want to reflect back on a part of your book, page 10, where you talk about how did achieving that portion boost your confidence even bigger for you moving forward, as I don't want to say starting over again, but having the opportunity to do it the way that you envisioned originally
Yeah.
parenting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't complain a lot about being a single mother, because I think that the opportunities that I had as a single mother, not having to worry about another human being and what they were thinking, it was kind of just all me. So it was not it wasn't a bad journey. And when you could look at it from that way, then you're able to really show up authentically as your best self every day, and really do the best that you can do. So as a single mother, I was able to, just sit down and kind of have my little team, and we were, we came from a team standpoint, and we talked about stuff and we worked things out because I wanted them to be thinking people. But then getting a chance to do it differently was also a blessing, because my choices were different too. So I chose a person that was very similar to myself, with the same value system, the same stick to itiveness. Like when I'm ready to throw in the towel, he's like, "We're not going anywhere. What do you mean? Like we're in this thing." And so that's good because it teaches me too that I'm not on my own. There are a lot of times that I have to kind of reframe my approach because was approaching it from a single mother standpoint, but now I have to approach it from a woman that has a partner, has an amazing partner, and I don't have to. Everything's not on me, and that's just the beauty of that is amazing. So if you were blessed to have a person in your life, a partner like that, like embrace that, and also kind of lean into it because I think as women we're very powerful, period, and we tend to push against those sorts of things, and it's not good. Like we have to let our men be men, and regardless of how people feel about that. I don't, some people will say, "Oh, you're being whatever." I don't care. I'm gonna let my man be a man
Yeah,
because I don't want to be a man. I am not a man. I don't want to
exactly.
be a man.
And as you created that balance of having your mate and the balance of being a single mother and now not being the single mother, how was that with guiding your kids and honoring their unique different interests? Because you said you have two kings and a queen that are adults, and now you
Right.
have a queen that you're rearing now. So how did you, with the older kids, how did you create that balance for their unique different interests, and what were their interests as they grew
Okay.
up?
So one thing you have to do when you have more than one child is you have to pay attention because you have, in my experience, I had three absolutely different people. Like my oldest son, for instance, is very quiet. My second son is very loud. And my daughter is kind of in the middle. So she's, very pensive. She's very girly, but she'll knock you out. So she's tough, but she's also very feminine. So you have to pay attention. So it takes a lot of work. I say it's like running a business. Like honestly, like I'm the CEO of this business. These are literally like my people that are in this business, and I have to pay attention. So I had to carve out time for all of us. So, as I was identifying that one actually liked to be inside the house, more than the other one loved to be climbing trees and running up and down, and the other one, she was wanting to be very, very artsy and creative. You have to pay attention. And as you pay attention to that, then you kind of go with them. Because as parents, we're like, the first time my daughter said she wanted to be a doctor, I was like, yes, doctor. Because there's a part of us that's like, my daughter's a doctor. Like then, 6 months later, she was like, I don't want to be a doctor. I'm like, you sure? Come on. I don't want to be a doctor, mommy. No, it looks like it's too stressful. I'm going to be an actress. So there are times when you have to let go of what it is that you think that you want and realize that it's what they want, and how do you support that? How do you help them in any way that you can? So when my kids tell me they're interested in something, I'm signing them up to stuff. I'm signing myself up to dropping off, picking up, to making the connections. Like I'm doing that. So, I'm always like just looking at how I can foster and nurture the things that they want to do and the dreams that they had. And I'll just tell you quickly, my mom said that, a couple of times she'd say, boy, I wish I were like you when I was raising you, because you used to sing, you used to be such a great singer, and you used to love to do all that stuff. And if I were like you, I'd have pushed you into stuff, and I know you'd have been the next Whitney Houston. And I just love hearing her say that, because it means it was kind of like a reinforcement that what I was doing was good,
You were doing
and
the
that
good thing, yes. And
see
then
the
that's the next thing. I don't think that not some women didn't have the courage to do things. It was always staying in the safe zone. Whatever was safe was the right way. And I
right.
say that to say, because my nephew, that's currently an actor and a producer, actually he's a Tony Award winning producer. When he was going to Columbia and he got a scholarship to study law. I mean, he's a brilliant, and he decided, I know I got this scholarship, but I want to be an actor. And I remember
Right.
my sister calling me, and she was like, she calls me by my last name. She's like, Francis, I need you to speak to Lamar because he always listens to you. And, you need to tell him, because you work in the legal field, that the lies, da, 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 da. I was like, okay, I will speak to him. So when, he's like, hi, Auntie Camela, Ma said you need to speak to me. And I said, Lamar, Ken and I just came back from a trip to Costa Rica. Can't swim, neither can Kiana. And I remember telling her, don't you dare jump off that cliff because we can't swim. And all the other kids, jumped off the cliff. And I was speaking to another parent, and in my peripheral vision, in the cartoons, you see someone jump and then there's nothing underneath and then they just disappear.
Yeah, yeah.
That was Kiana. She meant she was going to jump off that cliff.
You jumping.
And I looked down and I was like, Lord, please let her head pop up. And her head
Yeah.
popped up in the water. And I was like, if she can jump off this 20-foot cliff, I can do it too. So I
Oh
held
God.
the parent hand and I said, we're going to do that together. And I'm telling my nephew this story. And I said, if you feel like you want to be an actor, jump off the cliff.
Go for
It
it.
doesn't matter
Jump.
who's holding your hand.
Yes.
Jump
Yeah.
off the cliff.
Jump.
And he's like,
Yeah.
Auntie Camilla, this is not what I was expecting. I said, your mom said to speak to you. And I told her I would. And
Yeah.
whatever you decide you want to be, that's who
Yeah.
you need to be. And
Absolutely.
when and she's like, did you speak to him? I was like, I did.
Yeah, but you want your children to be happy. Like that's the bottom line. You want them to
Yes.
be happy and you want them to live full lives. And there are times in our lives, I mean, I'm sure, ladies that are in their 40s and 50s and 60s and above are regretting stuff. Like we wish
The
that we
shoulda,
had
woulda,
done this.
coulda. Yes.
I never
Yes,
wanted to do
because
that
I
to
know
them.
that
I
I was
didn't do
afraid
that.
to jump off the cliff because we couldn't swim. But when she was so bold and courageous, and she went that she couldn't let this opportunity pass her by, and everyone told her it was safe, and I was like, "No, girl, we're scared. Don't do that." And I realized that I was imparting my fear, my condition on her, and she was like, "No, I want to do this. We need to do this. I need to be free of the confinement." And we just went
Right.
on to that. But speaking
Awesome.
about supporting the dreams, I want to bring in the conversation Rhea Madison James. I mean, she is no stranger to Let's Talk About You. She has authored two books and she's working on her third. She's sold over 3,000 locally and within the Caribbean. So I
Wow.
know that you could impart some of your wisdom, Catherine, and she has her mom joining us. Hi, Trisha.
Hi.
Hi.
And
Hi.
I just want to embody and just have Rhea talk about things that she's doing when she started being an author, when she decided, okay, I want to do this. And Trisha, the fact that you're here with us, thank you for stepping in. You're part of you supporting her and pursuing, her pursuing her dreams.
Yes.
Go ahead, Rhea. Tell our listening audience when you started being the author that you are.
So I started writing at 10 years old, and it was supposed to start off as a school project, but then my teacher, she decided that the book was too good just to become a project. So then she encouraged my parents to get it published, and then my parents, they decided that we will get it published. Then the book just was shared around, and then we had our first book signing, and then that's when I started my first book and my journey with writing.
So when your teacher told you that your book was so good, when you were putting the layout together, did you feel like this is something that I enjoy doing it, or I was just doing this assignment because it's an assignment?
I liked it. I liked the fun in writing and just the creativity and all the aspects of it. So I just decided that I'll stick with it and continue writing.
And that support that you got from your teacher, what did that meant? What meant most to you? The support from your village, your teacher, and I know your parents are supporting you in everything you do. What has that done to instill this is a path that I want to continue, or, you know, what did that support mean for you?
It meant a lot to have a lot of supportive people around me because not a lot of people get that. So it meant a lot to me. And it was just like, I have supportive people around me and they're still encouraging me to write. And I like writing, so I'll stick with it.
Trisha, I want to ask you,
Sure.
when your daughter said, "Okay, Ma, I want to do this book," and my teacher said X, what were your thoughts before you like? Did you decide, "Oh, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon"? Did you have reservations? Let our listening audience know how you nurtured that portion.
I had some reservations because it was all new to us. I was like, okay, if I get somebody to, I need somebody to draw her pictures. So we got Deja Marie Simon to draw her pictures, and then after that we had to have my sister, who's a teacher. She's an elementary school teacher. She edited the book. After editing the book, I had to send it to publish. And when you send a book to publish, they let you know the weak areas that you would need to improve. But lucky for us, her book was so good that it passed that test, and then from there it went sailing. So it was, at first I had some reservations because of all the stuff you had to put in place, but it was all good.
And what about the support that you got from the community? Is like when you were pushing your daughter's book?
Great support. We just announced the book signing, and people came out and they supported her in magnitude. This was around COVID. Well, the first one wasn't COVID. The second one was bigger than the first one because it was around COVID time. But we got lots of support from the community and Caribbean islands. Lots of support.
And that's important. That's very good. Congratulations. So, Rhea, after you wrote your first book and then you impart on the second one, what made you think this is something that I want to continue doing? What sparked that interest?
Just like the creativity in it, I just liked it, and like how it made everybody feel. I liked that as well. So I don't know. It was just something fun for me, and it wasn't really hard to do because I already know like how I wanted to make my books and how I wanted to structure my books based off of my first one, and saw how that went. So yeah.
And one of the points that we wanted to bring here is healthy realism versus encouragement. So I heard you say, Trisha, you're like, I had reservation because it was new to me. Was it that it was new to me, or is that we live on an island? Who's going to do this? My daughter is 10, da da da. Did you go through all that other stuff, or it was just okay? This is new, and maybe where I want to start. Did you
It was
make
it
it
was
seem?
new to me because I know most published books in the VI are done locally, and I wanted more than that. So that's why I said it was new to me. So we went outside the Caribbean, and we published our book stateside, so it could reach many arms, so the kids can enjoy these books.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And I know that the government locally they have
The
books
governors,
that the kids.
yes,
Yes,
the governors
was
book
her
site.
book selected?
Yes, her book was selected, and they used her book last year, and they called us last week to use it this year, and they asking if a new book is ready, can they use it? So it just keep growing and going.
Nice.
That's wonderful. That's
Congrats.
wonderful. So yes, Catherine, you being an author yourself, and the ins and outs about writing a book and doing it locally versus on a more expanded platform. How was that for you?
I think for me, I, it, the fact that I wanted to share my life story, it's already that was very different, right? So, I'm from a small island. I've lived in the U.S. like half my life, so I'm very much I call myself a K-American because I'm from the Cayman Islands, but I am Americanized, so I'm a K-American. So I always know if I want to do something, it's going to be on a larger scale. But because I was living in the island at the time, it was kind of like I was very held, kind of held me back a little bit to say, oh, who's going to want to read a story about me? But because the story was so much bigger than me, it was talking about the journey of a single mother and the things that you need to do or not do because you have kids, because you have these responsibilities. It was like speaking to an audience, and the audience needed to hear that. And so I kind of took myself out of it. And when I did that, like the universe just opened for me because there are so many people out there that need to hear that story, and it's not just in the Cayman Islands. And so I really traveled. I did so much amazing things with I'm Somebody's Mama. I'm so excited about um what I will do with my new book, but because I got a baby, it's a little bit different in how I attack things. But yeah, it was great because in every pocket of this world there are people that are out there that need to be inspired by your story, that need to, they have stories that they want to share, and they don't have the confidence, or they feel like no one wants to hear it. So you just showing them almost like gives them permission to be amazing or to dream. So I think, like, for me, from an international standpoint, I always think about us from the islands doing things on an international level, and not just keeping, because if you just keep it home, we're going to sell, you sell 3,000 books. That's amazing. But
Yeah.
there's opportunities for, 300,000 books, or 30,000 or 3 million, or to get your book, written into, into a movie or a play or something. So, like, we have the Tyler Perry's, that's where his story kind of comes from, right? So I think
And
that
I
we
love
just
the a cartoon
have
portion
to
for her books.
we have to dream big. We do. We have to dream big, and we have to absolutely always, just always know that our story is important, and we just need to always pave the way. And I'm very proud of you as a young woman who's on this track, because I think it definitely is a testament to your mom, who's like standing by you and pushing you and saying, yes, you can do it, and I'm going to stand next to you, and I'm going to ensure that you do it. Because my daughter is an actress, model. She into pageants. She's just won Miss Universe Cayman Islands. She went to Thailand for Miss Universe. She was in Miss Global International 2024. She came second runner-up in the international portion of it. And I remember her first pageant when she was 12, and me feeling like, I don't want her disappointed, and if she doesn't win, I don't want her to feel disappointed. So I would say to her, listen, you might not win, so don't worry, it doesn't mean you're not the best. And I said it a few times, and one day she said, Mommy, could you stop saying that to me, please? Because all I want to know is that you think I can win. I don't care about
That's all
anyone
that
else.
matters.
Do you think I could win? And when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's what my daughter needed from me. And when I said, of course you can win, you're gonna win this. And then she just shifted it. She taught me something. And so from then, I'm always about that. Like, let me push her. Let me, if that's the area she wants to go into, I'm gonna help her. I'm gonna help carry her through. I'm gonna push her through. And she's done amazing. But she said that to me at 12, her first pageant. And when she got on the stage, she won it. So I learned from her. I don't have to doubt her. I like, and that she's okay if she doesn't win it. She just wants to know that her mom believes that she can win
That you
this. And
believe in her. Exactly. And that's what we need. Just the
yeah,
parent just nurturing us. No, we don't want the parent to just make us feel like we're being unrealistic.
right,
But we do need
right,
that support, to know that you support us unconditionally. So my next
right.
question is for you, Rhea. Being a young individual, how do you stay um, constant in continuing writing? How do what habits do you have so you can continue doing what it is that you're doing, that the government even wants to know? When are you doing your next? What are
Well,
some of the tips that you can share, not just for kids your age, but as for us, the adults, because the kids will lead us.
what I do, if I have an idea, I just try to write it down immediately, so like I don't forget, and then later on, I'll just like add on more, until it just forms a whole story. And there's a lot of stories that I've written that I need to share to my parents. Not just runaway stories, but different genres, like murder mystery stories, or like fiction or nonfiction stories, just like different genres, and I think the community will like them when they get released.
And what I
Okay.
can say too, Carmela, if you don't mind, what I'll say to you, Rhea, is that if you have the government that's willing to support you, like, don't lose that. Like, because that's very fleeting, and that will pass. So if they are supporting you, like, show up for that, because that's a great resource, and it's a great opportunity. And I would also say, young people, you guys have your finger on social media. You got the TikTok, it's Instagram,
Facebook.
YouTube, Facebook. I know you all got stuff that I don't even know about, but push it on there. Push it on there, because your age and stage of your life is also a very inspiring thing to people. So you can inspire and speak to people, not only your age, but older people that are like, well, if she can do it, I can do it too. So definitely use your platforms, and do not ease up on the government. If the government's going to support you, be at their doorstep. Mom, be at their doorstep. doorstep. Like
Yes,
literally,
I'm
they
all
wake
for
up in
that.
the morning, be on that doorstep because
Yeah. When I
yeah, that can go
first
away.
book, I
Yeah.
remember when I written my first book, all of my classmates were like trying to let me like help them write theirs because all of
Yeah,
them were like, yeah,
exactly.
And was that an
Exactly.
empowering feeling? Because you being 10 years old and you were motivated and you were consistent, and your peers wanted you to assist them with writing books.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So
thank you. We're gonna definitely stick with the government. They did reach out to us last week and they told us that they want her, well it would be us, to do St. John, St. Croix, and St. Thomas. So I tell them we'll make it
That's
happen.
amazing.
We'll work together and
That's
make it happen.
amazing.
They want her to just read the story or read a story to some children of like when they're giving out the books.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And
that
mom, you stick by her. You stick by her and honey, sky's the limits. Skies are the limits. How old are you now, Rhea?
14.
she's
All right.
14.
Yes.
But
You got
it's
the
going so
whole
fast.
world ahead
Yeah,
of you. The world's your oyster. Like, yeah,
yes,
that's
yes.
amazing. And if you can get the books in schools and stuff, and if you can get, and anything like just look like I have like this whole plan of lessons learned and how far you really can go. So I if you guys want to talk to me, you know, they can share my contact with you and we can,
No,
talk about different
thank
opportunities and stuff. But yeah, I think that's amazing. I'm very,
thank you.
very, very happy for you and very proud of you. And you have a far way that you can take this.
Yeah.
Oh, she definitely does. She definitely does. And when you were talking about doubling down on your dreams, I know that you mentioned, Catherine, that your daughter is into pageantry, and that you supported her from the time she was 12 to constant. Has the pageantry continued?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I'm not even home. I'm kind of on location right now because I have a crowning in 2 hours for the new Miss Global International Cayman Islands and the Miss Global International Philippines. I am the national director for for these two delegates really, and I'm the host country for the Miss Global International pageant, which will be here in October. And my daughter was Miss Global International Cayman Islands 2024, and she's also like my chairperson. So we're partners in this, and she is incredible. She's a force to be reckoned with. She's a go-to pageant coach, etiquette coach. She's an actress. She's a model. She's incredible. I can't just talk about her though. I have to say my sons are also incredible.
I was
Just
going to ask you about the men. I was going to ask you about your kings that you're raising.
so my
Well, have
kings.
raised.
I can tell you that when they graduated from university, one had a 3.95. He was magna cum laude. Like he's the computer guy. He can take apart a computer and make it again. He's the father of my only grandchild. He just got married like 2 days ago. Uh, and then my other son is living in Thailand with his wife. Uh, he actually has a master's degree in environmental engineering. So yeah, I mean, nothing to snuff at, like they're all like just amazing.
You're
My
doing
baby, she has some big shoes to fill, so I'm not even playing.
Well, and I'm glad that they have gone through, you went through your transition with them, because I know that the dreams have changed. When Kiana was younger, she wanted to be an astronomer, and then the singer, and then the this, and then even wanted to be a lawyer at one point, and now she's a journalist. So, as they go through different phases. Now, Trisha, this question is for you.
so
As Rhea is a phenomenal author. I'm going to say a world-renowned author, because you have to call things into being. You know,
we're
how
gonna
is
close.
it for you how is it pivoting to support her dreams?
Good. She have my support 100%. She knows this, and it's only for myself or her father or her brother. Her brother is her biggest supporter. Her brother is doing well, so she have the support. She have the family support, and then she have the support from family outside us.
And it is so important to, when we have kids, to have the village. It's always good to have the immediate family support. That's always good, because that to me builds the courage and the self-esteem, and the, make them feel like they could conquer everything. So when you were nurturing your kids goals and their dreams, when they, you yourself trying to work out, where do I fit because I'm a single mom raising 3 kids, how was that for you with, your daughter wanted to do pageantry? What were the 2 young men when they were younger, what were their thoughts and dreams of what they wanted?
So, well, you know what's funny is that they all turned out to be really creative. So everybody was into editing and video stuff, and like I sent them to the New York Film Academy for a couple of summer camps. My daughter wanted to be a chef. I took her to Chicago to a culinary summer camp. I mean, like I said, if they say they want to do something, they're going to do it. I'm going to support them. And as they continue to get older, like they're still very much in the same, one it like he loves to sing and perform. Like their dad was also a musician. I sang, like I mentioned, with my mom. So they all kind of have that creative thing in them. But then his job is a computer, kind of software person. And then the environmental engineer, like he's always been the climbing tree guys. He's always interested He's always interested in the water and to, learning about the reefs and stuff. And so he didn't veer too far off, but everybody's still very creative. And my daughter, yeah, she just was always into just creating. And she's also really good when it comes to like video editing. She writes she's written a couple of short stories, she's short films, she's written some musicals. So she's not only the face, but she loves directing and she loves to do that sort of stuff. So yeah, as you see them grow, I think with any parent, they should be able to attest to this. They kind of just come out, they're it's like flowers that kind of just continues to open as you pay attention to it. Yeah, then you start seeing things that are very consistent, and then you go, oh, okay, so yeah, it's always kind of been there. And so I would just say to all parents, just pay attention. Pay attention. Like a lot of people, they'll hear someone else talk about their kids and they'll be like, oh, my kids aren't like that. Stop it. Look at your own kids. Your kids are amazing. Stop it. Stop worrying about that. And stop telling people why she always talk about her kids. You start talking about your kids. Stop talking about people talking about their kids. Like when people talk about Beyonce with her kids, I'm like, hello, that's what you do with your kids. You take them places. Hello, that's what you do.
Give them experiences. We have to create experiences. And being from a small Caribbean island, sometimes we have to be creatives, like you mentioned, in creating those experiences for our children, because we want them to be exposed to more than, I know here, more than these 32 square mile islands. And, you being in the Cayman Islands, you want your kids to be exposed more, considering you're American Cayman, a Cayman American. What is it?
K-American. And my children were born in the U.S. too. So they came here. When I came home, they were 4, 8, and 9. So they're very much Americanized. They have the best of both worlds, which is great. And that's why you always have to remember that the world is big. It's not just where you are. It's just a part of this huge thing that you can continue to be a part of, and so let your story be told far and wide. I've had my own radio show. I've had my own TV show. My children have helped me edit that. They've seen kind of like, somebody that's going for her dreams and balancing it with them being a priority and having a couple of priorities all at once. And so they've seen that. And that's another thing that is good with parents, to continue to show your children that you want to live a full life and that you're willing to support their dreams, but you're also supporting your own dreams, because you don't want to be living vicariously through children either. Because
exactly.
That them too. When all of your dreams are on their shoulders and they don't want to disappoint you, then they can't even be happy anymore, because it's all about what their parents think. Forget that. They got to live their own lives too. So how do you ensure that they are living their own lives, and you are also a healthy individual pursuing your own dreams as well? Because we can get caught up in their lives as parents. We can.
True. And then this next question is for you, Rhea. Have there been any point in your life that you decided, okay, I know that this writing is going well, but I don't want to do it anymore? Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, there was times that I thought about that. Like with my second book publishing, we had a lot of publishing delays, so like it kind of got stressful. And then like after that, I was tempted to take a long break. But then I remembered how I felt proud holding up my first book. Like it was really I was really, and that kept me from quitting. So like all of the good moments outnumbered like all of the bad ones.
In addition to writing, what are your other interests that you love to do so you can, you be jovial and just be 14? What
Well,
is 14-year-old Rhea like?
I play volleyball. I play a lot of volleyball, and I sing and I dance. I love to sing as
Okay.
um, and then I cook too. So that's nice.
That's right. Well
Gluten-free
rounded, yeah.
options? Are there gluten-free options there in the cooking?
Oh yeah,
I'm just asking because that's just a question I have to ask.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I want to say that, what she just said makes so much sense because I love to write. I do. And I thought, because I love to write that I'd start writing like for a newspaper. And I hated every second of that. I hated going out to get a story and get information. Like I hated any guide around what I was gonna write. So I ended up being a columnist. Like I can write from my brain
You have the
free
free
because when it's
free
not
range to
fun,
write what
you
it is
don't
you want to
want,
watch.
yeah, when it's not fun, then it becomes a chore and then you don't want to do it. So make sure that you always stay true to what you're enjoying, like make it fun for you,
Exactly.
make sure that you love it. Because if you don't love it, then it's not going to feel the same.
Great advice. I agree.
Yeah, and as you know, Rhea, I know your mom supports you, your family supports you, your big brother is your idol and your guru. But what are some of the lessons that your mom, your brother, your dad has taught you to not only stick to what it is that you're doing, but just general advice that guides you in your everyday 14-year-old. And I'm stressing that because what you're doing is such a great charge. Even adults want to do what it is that you're doing. And you're doing something so courageous, so bold, so talented. But what does 14-year-old Rhea depend on her family for? What is it that you need from them?
They taught me like just to never quit when something gets hard, because hard work always there's something rewarding in the end. And I just use that advice whenever I feel like giving up on something that I care about. So like that was really helpful to hear that from
That's great advice. That is wonderful. And so with all Rhea's success, Trisha, was it to the fact that you had to reel her in and remind her, or it's just always she's just been mellow Rhea?
She been mellow, Rhea.
That's good. That's good to know. So, what is your next dream that you're chasing, Rhea? Because the world is your oyster. The entire world is your oyster. But what are new things? I know you have a new story that's brewing, and I can't wait myself. So, put me in the line under the government about your new story. So, keep me there. But what is it
Okay.
that you're chasing for?
Well, I have more runaway stories that I want to publish, but a big goal that I want chasing is to make a chapter book, which is gonna be like really hard and a really long journey, but I think that I can do it.
You know that you could do
Great.
it.
I agree. And Catherine, your kids are doing phenomenal as adults. You've done a showman's job. You recreated yourself. And I love the fact that when you were having the conversation with Trisha and Rhea, that you reminded them, Trisha has to live her life as well. It can't
Yeah.
be Trisha slash Rhea's life. It has to be Trisha's life, Rhea's life, and them both together because that is so
Yeah.
important. But as
Yeah.
your kids and how do you see the roles of your children's dream evolve over the years? And you just look back as to what it is that when you lay out that picture for them.
Well, I think one main thing is I believe that I gave them permission to dream. I gave them
Love that.
permission to achieve. They saw me running after my dreams. They saw me, like, I am a very busy person. Right now I have so many things that I'm doing, and they've seen me manage. They've seen me
Yeah.
juggle. They've seen me show up and work towards things that make me happy. And they know that they've been the priority the whole time also, so they know it's possible. So it was never that I dropped the ball and I put all of these things ahead of them, but I also incorporated things from myself. So becoming a whole human being was very important to me, because I kind of had the feeling that my kids are going to grow up and they're going to have their own lives, and I'm going to be sitting there by myself, wondering, well, what about me? And I didn't need to do that to them. And so I used to say, like, they were my retirement plan. I had like three kids, and I was like, I'm gonna spend 4 months with you, 4 months with you, and 4 months with you. That's what I'm gonna be doing. And one of y'all are gonna have to say to the other person, can you take her early? Because I had my but now they can't even find me because I'm over here living a one little young woman life with a baby and a husband. And so they're like, can I come
And
over?
that's a
Can I see
wonderful
you?
thing because I truly believe one way that you can impart and support your kids' dreams is supporting yourself. You
Yeah,
have to be that foundation so
of
they can
course.
see the entire person. So,
Yeah,
I'm glad that we had the extra guest, Trisha, come on to not only sit next to her daughter today, but share her insights and input as to the journey that they've traveled. So this even made today's show even better. So thank you, Trisha, for popping in. I really, really appreciate this and the level of the conversation. So, Trisha, I'm going to ask you this: for being a parent, what advice would you have for not only that you supporting your daughter with her dreams and so forth, but what advice do you have for parents that have kids that have something in them that they're not quite sure, and for them to nurture it to assist in bringing it out?
All I would tell parents out there, listening audience, is support them in anything they aspire to be, to do. Support them 100% because you never know where it's going to take you.
I love that. You're absolutely right. Everything makes a difference. Everything truly makes a difference. And I love that. So before we get into our closing portions, I want our listening audience to drop a line in, just their thoughts, their points with regards to nurturing and supporting our kids, because our kids are our future. Our kids are our future. Just the other day, I was in high school, and just in the other day, I celebrated my 35th high school anniversary. Where's the time going? So at
Tell
one
them.
point, someone was saying that I was the future, right? And now I'm looking at the future, looking at Rhea. She is the future. And I am so proud of you and all that you've done. And, our listening audience, if you want to see some of Rhea's work right here on the screen, are two of her books that she's written and published. I have them both, and they're both good reads. And she has such a great sense of humor. Don't mind the quiet monotone that's here on Let's Talk About You. In her books, you can read and see her sense of humor that comes out in her characters. And I truly appreciate that because there's humor, there's a lesson, and it takes you on your way and it takes you on your journey. So kudos to you, Trisha, and kudos to you, Rhea. And I can't wait to hear about the next book. Is it a secret, or do you want to talk about the title of the next book,
Well,
or give us a little snippet?
the next book
If it's a
is
secret, I understand.
the next book is the Runaway Coconut, and then there's also more runaway stories. But then at the same time, there's other like books about like my life, but just in a different character. So I want to publish those and get those out.
We're
I
trying to,
love it.
trying to publish
So,
each letter. So we'll see how that goes.
so when are we thinking for the book release of the Runaway Coconut?
we were thinking to release it maybe like in October, November before Christmas, so people can get it for a Christmas gift. So that's
Oh,
what we
great stocking stuffers.
yes, stocking stuffers, correct. Yes.
Excellent idea. I think that's good. So put me down for one. I need a runaway coconut.
Okay.
But I'm going to bring on Catherine because I want her to give us some closing advice. And then, Rhea, I want to hear some closing advice from you first. And then we'll hear closing advice from Catherine. Give our listening audience, both the adults and the kids, some pointers in when pursuing your dreams, whatever it is that they like to do. Just advise what you think that they should do and how they should pursue their dream.
I just say like believe in yourself, even if you think that you're too young or you think that you're too old. Age isn't a limit for what you can do. Just like start small, keep learning, and don't give up when it's hard. And like just the feeling of achievement, your dream is just gonna be worth it in the end.
Agreed. That's some great advice. Do you want to add anything to what it is that you said earlier, Trisha?
No, I don't. Thank you, listening audience, for listening and continue to support your family in anything they decide to do because you never know where it may take you. And God's blessings to everyone.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. So, Catherine, with your journey with rearing three adult children and having a grandbaby and now a almost 3-year-old, what are your closing support with to supporting and nurturing your kids or just anyone with their dreams and aspirations?
Just stay true. Just stay true to yourself. Don't be afraid to dream. The world is huge, and the world is closer and actually I say it's huge, but it's smaller than we even think. And so let our voices be heard. As island people, we tend to watch the rest of the world do great things, but we're actually doing great things as well. So continue to make your mark, get help, get advice from those that have gone before you, and show up. And parents, just continue to be the best that you can be for your kids, that they see the best person show up every day, that they see that you're out there kicking butt, not only for your life, but for their life. And right now I enjoy an amazing relationship with 3 adult people, and they are like my best friends, and I raise my best friends. And I look forward to that for my baby as well. So I think that that's a part of it that we tend to not see as much, is the other side. And so I kind of tell the story of being on the other side, and we also have the stories of the other side that we're on with our parents and the things that we would have liked them to do and the things that they did well and not so well. And we can learn from that. And just always remember, parents, that we are responsible for the future adults in this world. So continue to pour in all that good stuff. And that's what the world is going to get. And that's it. Like, and keep writing books and keep singing and keep dancing and keep living out loud and no apologies, and just be the best person you can be. Make this place make this world a better place because you were in it.
I agree. Great advice. Thank you.
I agree with every word. Live out loud. Do it afraid. I say do it afraid because so many times, like, Catherine, I piggyback on what it is that you were saying about your mom, her being that may have happened if she nurtured your singing more. But the fact that she would say, if I were like you, and if I were like you, too many times we have the regrets. And then things we don't always have an opportunity to do over. So do it afraid. Even in your own discomfort, do it afraid. We want to rear great children. We don't want to rear narcissists. It's because they got to the point sometimes, we impart certain things that because of. No, that's not what we're saying. That's not what we're doing here today. And let's talk about you. We're talking about being true to ourselves, true to our children, nurturing them and guiding them to be the best that they can be. So I thank you guys so much for being a part of our Let's Talk About You. Thank you for returning, Catherine. I know you're busy, so thank you for taking this time and running away. Trisha, thank you for being my pop-up guest today. Rhea, I am so proud of you, young lady, and I want you to continue to rule the world. So thank you for all you doing it one bit at a time with the stroke of a pen or the stroke of your fingers on the computer. Continue to do what it is that makes your heart happy and being passionate, because the rate you're going, I have no concerns about the future of these islands. So thank you. And our listening audience, I want you to continue doing your best and stay blessed on purpose. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Your dream come to life. That is the mission behind Kiki Creations. We're more than a decorating service. We put our all into taking in every detail of your vision and transforming that into breathtaking events. Whether you're celebrating a wedding, retirement, throwing a massive gala, or having an intimate dinner, let Kiki Creations create the moment of your dreams. Celebrate love, laughter, and the moments that really matter with Kiki Creations.